today. Somebody got to call the cops. Somebody better call the police. They better get the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Central Intelligence, whatever the hell they want to call themselves today. They better get them all. Get them all. Because you need every single last one of them. But what's been transpiring out here? You need them all. You need them all. Did y'all see the game? Did anyone see the game last night? Please tell me what happened last night, because I don't believe I witnessed what I thought I witnessed last night. Can somebody please tell me what just transpired? Good morning, good sir. Please, if you're new here, subscribe to the page. I know this is probably too early for LB, but we're going to do a StreamYard later on today. So it'll be my first StreamYard in a minute, because I got to talk to LB and find out what's going on here. Because I know LB on the fence. Knicks versus Nets. He kind of on the fence. Which one he rolling with? But in this game, I'm going to tell you flat out, the Knicks on that play got robbed out of this game. And I don't know if the fix was in, but it looked that way to me. But it's funny, nobody was not feeling the stacked team thing when Miami was playing. Why nobody feeling the stacked team thing? Nobody said nothing. You got a bunch of 20-year-olds stacking the team up to try to win championships. It's like nobody cared then. But once Harden, KD, and Kyrie team up, now everybody got a problem. I'm like, have a problem. The problem needs to be, y'all need to address what's going on over there. Of course somebody touched the ball. It was blatant that Kyrie Irving touched the ball. This is what you're supposed to have replay for. So get it right. They screwed it up. And the problem is, and I address this to the league, the National Basketball Association. This is your biggest problem. This is when people are watching the game and they're interested in the game. Julius Randle had going off last night. He had a virtuoso performance. You robbed the public of their ending of the game. Let him shoot it. If he hit it, they go to overtime. If you made a bad call, cool, correct that. Now you probably damaged something in the seeding process. Everybody's real close. These games matter. Oh, you was talking about Umar Johnson and got reported? That could happen. The fans, you got cheated. You got cheated out of a great ending. Either he missed the shot or he hit the shot. He was having a virtual soul performance out there on the court. They couldn't do anything with Julius Randle. Now everybody is sitting there going, okay, here we go. We're going to have a great game, a great climatic ending. What's going to happen? Nope, we get gypped. Not the Brooklyn Nets' fault. It's not the Knicks' fault. It's the refs. The National Basketball Association. It's their fault. Because they're out here convincing the people that you're seeing real basketball. That you're seeing a game where the best of the best play and the best of the best, whoever's the better team that night is going to win. That's what they're trying to sell you, but what they're doing is they're trying to control. They're trying to control who is where, who goes where, who's seated where, the whole nine. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're ruining your own game. They're ruining their own game trying to push narratives. You're ruining your own league by trying to push people in the direction you want them to go. That's what they're doing. That's all they're doing. I talked to Bob Arum. He says nothing's official yet. So that's why Top Rank hasn't said a word. Because nothing's official. I talked to Bob Arum yesterday. That's why I stay quiet. So whenever Bob Arum tells me that they're not talking right now because it's not done, they don't know why Eddie jumped out and said what he was saying. Everything's not done yet. So that's where we at. It's not done yet. Job ain't done. It wasn't a travel. It wasn't even close to being a travel. The thing is, I could see if the guy was behind the play. And he couldn't see if Kyrie Irving touched the ball, so he blew the whistle. That's fine. That's why you have replay. This is where replay is supposed to come in and correct the mistakes. This is what it was supposed to be about. But instead, we're getting BS'd out of the game. Instead of getting the real, you getting the fake. Once again. Everybody can have an off night. They looked a little flat to me. They did. The Nets looked real flat, and the Knicks were sharp, man. They were ready. Them boys balled out last night, and they was trying to show Brooklyn they're for real. Tibbs had them boys playing. The second unit, they were not giving any space to them shooters. They were on it, man. The Knicks was playing. Oh, my Cash App is Carceno, Karceno. Whoa, Louise Marin, what happened? Oh my goodness. The spiritual warrior has hit. Thank you, and Aaron. I appreciate that. Now, who would be a good superstar to put the Knicks over the hump? They need basically Trae Young is all they really need at the point guard position. That's it. I mean, RJ Barrett is good. He's decent, but I think if they had Ice trade a game, it's over. You think they need somebody out there on the wing, huh? Another wing player. I think if you put Trae Young out there, what he does is open up the game for Julius Randle. Now, if you play the really good teams that's smart defensively, they're going to collapse on Julius Randle and force RJ Barrett to beat you and all the other guys, OB, and they're going to force the bench and the second unit to try to beat them. But if you take away their strength, whoa, Lansky, Lansky, the real Knicks supporter. Here's the thing that's funny about that. Because some people have a hard time deciding if they're rooting for Brooklyn or they rooting for the Knicks. It's a hard decision because people who ain't from Brooklyn is rooting for Brooklyn. But they was like, when the Knicks ain't playing, I root for Brooklyn. So it all depends. Me, I don't see it that way. I see it a little bit differently. I see the Knicks needing somebody at the point guard position that you got to double and get help on. Because if you get help on Trae Young, what's that gonna leave you with Randall? Randall one-on-one would destroy your team. He could destroy your team, just like you saw last night. When he knew LeBron James was coming over to the team, he immediately said, nah, I'm good. But see, Randall's been balling all year. This is first time being an all-star that I can remember. And people act like, like they just gave it to him. All Julius Randle needed was the right coach, the right system. And I don't think the coach they had before was the right guy. I just don't think so. And I understand how everybody else might feel, but Fizdale, I just don't think had the right fit. So I was wrong. After watching Tibbs, I knew what Tibbs was gonna do. But I was like, man, they got rid of the brother too fast. But now that I see how Randall's game is now, I see they did the right thing, definitely. I know they got the right coach. If Tibbs don't run everybody into the doggone floor. Tibbs treat practice like it's a real game. Kobe would have loved him. You know what's interesting is that when people make these analogies and when they say, oh, okay, this is what's happening and so with so and so, when they make all these analogies, you never hear about the other players. It's always one player that's better than the rest and all that. They don't talk about Julius Randle. They don't. Where's this Julius Randle special? And that's what hurts the league. Like, we know, I told you yesterday what was going to happen in the Golden State Lakers game. Like, we knew what they was doing when they made the schedule. Golden State just played Utah the day before. They doing a back-to-back. They wasn't for to win that game. I told y'all what was going to happen, the whole setup. And I didn't watch the game, of course, but I guarantee you they were just saying, Golden State just beat the number one team in the NBA last night. Nobody mentioned anything about a back-to-back, but I bet you they like, LeBron James is back. He's focused. He's in playoff mode now. I don't even know how many points he had. I haven't seen the stat. Well, a lot of people got to make decisions in life of what's really important. Hit the like button. AD's out another month. Of course, he's out another month. He's not out 6 months, but he's out for a period of time. That's a serious injury. He has an Achilles injury. It's not some calf. That's just that nonsense they was trying to feed to y'all. Oh, he has a calf injury. I'm like, have you seen a calf injury before? It's not a calf injury. He wishes it was. If it was a calf injury, he'd be back on the court by now. It's an Achilles. And they don't want a $300 million mistake by putting him out there. Because that's what you're looking at. A $300 million mistake if you run him out there on that court and he's not ready. The National Basketball Association has once again decided that they got to cheat and bring and help the Lakers once again with this ridiculous schedule that's Laker friendly, not all the other teams. And I mean, other teams know. They know, like, look, all the favoritism is to the Lakers and LeBron. Every team he goes to, there's favoritism. It's nothing but a hypocrisy every time. Now, how is this good for your league? Out of curiosity, just curious, how does this help your league? What's up, Kev? Man, Kev, I was thinking about our class the other day, man. I was like, man, you know what's crazy? I'm like, I'm sitting there like, man, about our class. I'm thinking about all the people that was in it. And I was like, man, what was his name? Andrew Brown. Not Andrew Brown. I got to go and find my yearbook. I think his name was Anthony Brown or something. I was like, man, I wonder what happened to him. KD, the thing about his hamstring is they're afraid that if they bring him back, it's going to re-aggravate his Achilles or something or something worse, like ACL tear or whatever on his other leg. They want to be really careful with how they bring in and dealing with they want to be real careful how they dealing with him, because if they're not careful, it could turn into a worse situation, and then he's out again. You see that NBA, your body was not made to play basketball professionally for 18 years. Because of the way the game is now, because it's less abuse on your body, guys are able to play longer. Michael Jordan wouldn't have played as long as he did if he didn't have those breaks in between, those 2-year breaks, another break for 3 years, and he kept coming back. Other than that, Michael wouldn't have been able to continuously play at that level. His body would have just physically gave out. That's why the second time around when he came back, his knees, they were giving him so many problems because he had been so many years without playing. Your metabolism is burning out so much food and fluid and calories from running up and down the court that once people retire, it's hard for them to maintain a balanced diet. So you can eat reckless and still keep yourself in shape because you're playing basketball. But what happens when you're not doing that no more? Your metabolism speeds up faster to try to make up for what is lost. And that's why you see these guys blow up so fast. You be like, man, what happened to you? because they never had a chance to gradually let their metabolism slow down. And when it slow down, it just immediately the body just blow right up. And you see old players and they look like blimps. They be like, you be like, man, what happened to him? I mean, you look at Joe Dumars, you look at all these dudes, man, you go, man, how did they blow up so fast? Now, some people, they find some type of recreation. They ride a bike because they got to be on television. So, they try to keep their body retrofitted so that their body gradually adjusts the weight so that you don't gain as much weight as everyone else does. But it's very difficult. Like when Grant Hill retired, he had to learn to stay, physically in shape, and he works out. So most of these players, when they're done, they don't want to see a gym. They don't want to work out no more. It's like, dude, I've been in so many camps and training camps and meetings, and I'm sick of it. I'm burnt out. So that's just how people are, man. So they get sick of it, man. You've been doing something for so long, you just get tired of it. People be like, I can never get tired of it. I love ball. Yeah, well, play it for 13 years in a row, and it's your job. It's a little bit different. Well, see, the thing is, after KD won the first championship, KD did gain weight. KD gained like 20 pounds of muscle. He wasn't the same KD no more from that first year. Oh, but Randy, you gotta wait. I'm in the middle of something, but yeah, that was I sent you that message a while ago, like hours ago. Oh no, don't worry. Don't worry. We will play. It's just gonna take about a little bit, like about maybe a half hour. That is not what I wanted to do. Well, the NBA's got to realize they got to really look at their policy when it comes to. They got to really look at their policy when it comes to like how they want to do this officiating. Because realistically, it's not looking good, to be honest. I mean, let's look at it last night. There were a lot of questionable calls. Okay, a lot of questionable calls, decisions that was made that made no sense to anybody out there on the court. No one listens to Max Kellerman on ESPN radio in the car. That's a fact. I don't listen to Max for anything in the world. He's just nothing I feel like I think I need to be listening to. I never said, what would be cool, man, if I was to listen to Max Kellerman right now. You know, I wonder what Max got to say. I've never heard nobody say that they like they were waiting on Max. Like, man, I wonder what Max Kellerman thinks. According to Max Kellerman, his analogies are so far off. It's like one game, like I think his future right now, the whole team's in trouble and they need to make a decision right now on moving forward on who's going to be on the team. I'll be like, they lost one game. I mean, when you lose to LeBron, it's demoralizing. This could be a 13-game loss just because of the way they lost this game. I'm like, it's dumb. And I'm like, whatever Max is thinking in his head is the story of what's going on. He makes that a reality in his own mind. Like he brings it out and tells the public as if that's what's actually going on. When he got that pass and it went through his hand, I think he went back to 2012 when he had that turnover and the game went left and got away from him. I think he was thinking about 2012 at that moment in time. I'm like, I'm quite sure he probably don't remember what the hell you talking about. I'm quite sure you gonna remember 2012 and bring it up, but whoever that was just another night in March. I mean, the Knicks won. The Knicks covered the spread. The Knicks, I mean, they won. If it depends on if you got 3.5. But the thing is that they won. The Knicks won tonight. The Brooklyn Nets were supposed to blow them out. They were supposed to show them they were the team in New York and they was the best. They really didn't prove that. They look kind of like basic. I wish it was like that. I wish it was more on those bases than, how it truly is. When you start seeing things that don't quite add up, or everybody's in their own world, because that's what happens out here. Guys get into their own space, their own little bubbles, and their own crew, what have you. And then that's that. That's what they do, man. People are something else. Now, Julius Randle all last night, what did he do? He dictated what the game was going to be, what the game plan was, how the Knicks was going to play, how they should have played, and exposed that they have no interior defense. None. Then the Brooklyn Nets will have problems if they decide to continuously go on without adding some type of protection on the inside. Because Julius Randle exposed, no matter who they got to guard him, it wasn't the right guy. I'm like, has anybody forgot that Julius Randle is left-handed? Oh, that's where you wrong, bro. A lot of people will tell you that the Knicks don't run New York, and whoever tell you that is stupid. The Knicks run New York. All right, don't fall for that. That's the Brooklyn Nets. They just winning games. They ain't the Knicks. Trust me, they are not the Knicks. Y'all know y'all want to believe that. Y'all basing it off games. They're not the Knicks, bro. The Knicks don't even have to win a championship. The Knicks, I mean, the New Jersey Nets went to the finals back to back with Jason Kidd. They've done more than Brooklyn so far. So I'm saying the Knicks can be 0-37, and it's going to be a sold out tickets at the Garden. That's just the way it is. Sold out at the Garden. If they had run from Run DMC, you know what he told Dolan? When they tried to get in there and tell him about where he should be seated and all this other nonsense, do you know what Run told DJ Run from Run DMC? Told James Dolan them and the security? I beg your mother pardon, but this is my mother and God. And that's what Patrick Ewing should have did. Patrick Ewing should have did that. Security tried to pull that on Run DMC. Y'all remember that? Well, I know y'all probably don't. But that's how that whole thing ended up coming out. I want y'all to know when I say whose house, y'all say Run's house. That's how that all existed. That all came about due to them harassing Run DMC when they was coming in, and their headline, their name is on the headliner for the show at the Garden. Ron's ego was on an all-time blast too. That's what I miss, the Ron ego, boy. Ron, boy, his ego was through the roof. Well, see, the problem is when you face somebody or you going to do your show, the security should know who's who. Like, if you don't know who Ron DMC was at that time and they had walked this way, they were the biggest thing in the game at the time. And at the Garden show, they didn't even have a contract when they did My Adidas. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. They didn't even have a contract with Adidas and did the song My Adidas. The Adidas rep went to the Run DMC concert and saw what they did, and that changed everything in the Garden. When he said, "Take off your shoe right now, hold up your Adidas," and everybody was holding up Adidas. Do you know how much money they made off that free advertisement, free marketing that they did for Adidas? Run DMC was more valuable to Adidas than the National Basketball Association. The first marketed rappers ever in the game, Run DMC. They brought the advertisement money in. Walk This Way hit, and they said, back the money truck up. They can get paid. No, Michael Jordan put Nike put Nike where it is. Let's not screw that up. Well, Michael Jordan is very instrumental in and the success of Nike. I mean, everything Nike. Because Jordan was wearing Nikes. Anything people wear, Nike jogging suits. Jordan, he just didn't wear Jordans. He had all kind of apparel. So when he came, Adidas was taking a blow. So Run DMC saved him. I mean, they used to, this is what I mean about artists and performances back then. They used to actually perform. Okay, somebody want to come in and start trolling, talking about Randall Travel. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. That's for sure. We need that. That's something that definitely need to be done. Hit the like button. They used to have a routine they used to do. D would be out there, and then he'd be like, "Man, what's that? That's my black shirt. If you touch it, you get hurt." He was like, "Well, what's that? Man, that's my black hat. You touch it and you will get smacked." And then he said, "Well, what are those?" My Adidas. It was done. The whole crowd was on 10. It was over. Run DMC used to put on a performance. So when they did something, it was monumental. It meant something. When you saw Run DMC perform, you forget the songs. You want to see them perform live because they put on a show. They knew how to entertain you. They just didn't grab the microphone and hold it. They actually did things on there. But when they tried to tell Run what he could do and what he couldn't do at the Garden, oh, that wasn't gonna ride. That was not gonna ride. And it didn't ride. Oh, Run got his way. You gonna tell Run? Run was gonna walk. I mean, they was gonna walk and it wasn't gonna be a show. Do you know what they would have did to the Garden? They'd have ripped that Garden apart. Oh yeah, Run, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how these athletes today are crying. Run DMC, man. I mean, I guess it's demand. All the people that's got a problem with him now, they was like, because Patrick Ewing should have never had that type of problem. Like, my name ain't on the rafters. You don't know who I am. I gotta show information. You think Michael Jordan, somebody gonna stop Jordan when he go into Chicago State? I don't think so. Nobody gonna tell Mike diddly squat. Mike could do what Mike want to do. Somebody said they probably thought he was Charles Oakley. But see, that's Oak Tree. See, Oak Tree all bitter here and there and there. Now you see. See how they treat you? That's what they think of you. They ain't want no mistake. Look at what they did me. No disrespect, Oak Tree, but you not Patrick Ewing. No disrespect, Oak. You ain't Patrick Ewing. You know, you did some things that, not gonna sit well with the organization. You know, you was a little too volatile, but you should always have a place in the Garden. You know, you represented what was good about the game at that time. But your position in the game, that stuff don't even exist no more. They don't even look to get players like you. The Anthony Masons, the Charles Oakleys, those players are pretty much, out of the game now. They be like, look, go play football. They want the track star. Right. You think anybody would draft Rick Mahorn now? Even though you would need a Rick Mahorn on your team? They're not drafting Rick. They're not looking to draft a Rick Mahorn. Not at all. That's just nothing that they're really interested in looking at. I was like, I couldn't believe it at one point. It was really bad. I was like, man, this is bad, like this is pretty messed up as far as the Knicks organization, like why they can't get right. But Phil Jackson came there and stopped the progress in what they had that was winning. You had a coach that was winning. The system that he had, they was winning with less talent, and they had everything going the way it should have been going in New York. There was no reason why the New York Knicks needed to change coaches and change and bring in Derek Fisher. The reason they brought in Derek Fisher, everybody knows, Phil wanted to coach and not have to be on the court. He wanted to do what Pat Riley was doing. I'm a coach from the booth. I'm going to train my minion to do everything I want him to do, play who I want to have played, do the substitutions the way I want it to go, and that's that. It's the end of the story. And I could chill here and be the general manager. So they tried to do that with Phil Jackson. What they realized is Phil is not that kind of a basketball coach. You can teach somebody the triangle offense, but it's about personnel. And when you don't have the people, these guys are too young to run the triangle offense. They're not. That's more of a mature people who've been in the league in their 30s. They can run that kind of offense. They done seen everything. So they know how to implement what you want to do and still do their thing. Triangle offense didn't win no championships in Chicago. That wasn't a determining factor in how they won. Michael Jordan just knew how to use the team better and not burn himself out. He got fundamentally better. And instead of trying to go over the top, he was beating you with jumpers. Mid-range jump shots was on point. And being fundamentally sound as he shoots them. So he was a threat. That fadeaway started coming in, and you're like, whoa, he not attacking the rim? Nope. Shooting fadeaways. Why am I coming in there to get beat up every time? I could just shoot these fadeaways. Man, and look, Matt Barnes, I love what Matt Barnes say, because Matt Barnes he's a rotation player. And he's the type of guy, but he was not like Captain Jack was. Steven Jackson was somebody that could have been an all-star in this league. Matt Barnes was not. He was Rajah Bell. He's one of them type players. But the way he tried to make himself seem like he was a goon and enforcer, like he was tough. Matt Barnes, it's like, come on, man. You was doing that because basically you was getting cooked. You was not a defensive shutdown guy. None of these things. You could score. You could have a game where you get hot, but that was too far, few, and in between. That's why Kobe thought you were that guy that you were selling yourself as. And when you got to the Lakers, he realized, damn, you ain't that guy. You ain't that guy I could depend on. I thought you was the man. Kobe asked him, you want to come to the Lakers? He was, yeah. And he was like, damn. You want to like get the hell out of here? Yeah, good. Because he was done. At that point, he was done. He was just marking the days. It was like Jalen Rose, man. After Jalen Rose had his little stint that he did in Indiana, but the thing was he was never going to get along with the coach. Well, people got to. I think the Knicks is all right. I think they'll be all right. They're going to go to the playoffs. The Bulls are not going to the playoffs. So that's that. Let's get that assessed right now. Bulls are out. If anybody believe the Bulls is going in there, they put Kobe White on the bench. And the reason why Kobe White is on the bench is because they needed some points to come off the bench. This is what I told people. You can't have Zach LaVine and Kobe White playing together. I told you, this is not going to work. The quicker people figure that out, the better off they'll be. You can't have that. It makes no sense. They can't be together on the same team. I don't know, man. I'm more concerned with the officiating. The officiating to me has become so atrocious that it's like no regard for the person watching the game. And if they just feel like nobody cares, let's do what we want to do. And that's just wrong. Because now you're cheating the fans out of a decision or the way the game's supposed to go. You know, you robbing people. Well, to me, it's disgusting. Right. Now we never know. People want to know, would he have made the three? What happened? No, we won't never know because the NBA screwed you out of it. Well, the Knicks got to decide. What you gonna do with majority of these spaces you got. You got to get these guys in here now. Just don't say, okay, Joel Embiid is out of month. We're gonna be good. I mean, really, if you look at it though, really, is that it? I never felt that way. I always felt a little impartial about it, but it is what it is. All right, Burundi, you up?